finger. I was lying on my back with one naked bulb burning, and I was reaching for it with my finger. I felt so sick, I thought it was diarrhea, but when I rushed to the bathroom and looked down in the bowl, I saw that I had crapped out an 11-inch piece of aluminum conduit and some computer chips and wire and a whole lot of blood, and I started to cry. I wiped my eyes and I looked up at the back of the door, and there was a sign there that said, "To our valued customers, by defecating in this toilet, you have hereby consented to have your activities monitored on an ongoing basis by the service provider. Thank you." And then 3 guys in suits with earphones kicked my door in, and they threw me up against the wall and gave me a bloody nose and pulled my pants down to my ankles, and then they ridiculed the shape of my ass. They told me they didn't have to read me my rights, and they dragged me downstairs kicking and screaming, where they roughed me up on the asphalt and threw me in the back of a federal vehicle. I was whisked to the airport, where I was loaded onto a C-17 transport. I woke up from the sedation in Sudan, where I was met at the air base by 2 Jesuit priests, one of whom was wearing a Phil Collins t-shirt, and they told me that breaking people was their occupation. We drove out into the desert in a Land Rover, and that priest who was sitting in the back seat with me, he had a gun to my head, and he was getting really friendly. He put his arm around me. He started getting really uncomfortably friendly. He put his leg on mine. Around sundown, we pulled up in front of a mountain that was so big that it eclipsed the sun. It was a mountain of naked, steaming, scurrying human beings. There were people getting married, and people vending things, and people crapping. There were underpasses and overpasses, and people standing in long lines for governmental authorization to modify their ramshackle dwellings. There were teddy bears and flower arrangements and vast flea markets of grief. And on top of the pile was a seething mass of drunken hooligans, waving their beer cans, screaming, rubbing oil on their chests, and hoisting high a banner that said, "We are the world." And he patted me on the butt like a football coach, and he said, "Son, I want you to take a good look over yonder, for there stands the Tower of Babel, and now I want you to get down on your knees in the dirt. I want you to get down as low as you can go and lick the dirt, and I want you to pray to God, because it's all gonna be yours someday."